Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, lots and lots of drama around He-Man. Now, I was going to do this a while ago. I got the comic, and I knew it was the first of at least 2 issues, and I didn't really want to read it until I got the second issue, because I sort of wanted to just read it in one lot, because I assumed however many issues would come out before the first episode. And then I started to realise it's already July and it's just come out. There's like a week or so, unless they're doing one in a week. How are we going to get the other one? And I didn't really get what was happening. I had a look, and the second issue isn't due till August. So I found it a bit confusing because I had a quick look at it, and it didn't really seem to set up the series and the episodes. So I thought the idea of the prequel was to explain things and set up the first episode, and that you had to read this to understand the episode. So series, I really don't know what relevance this story has. It doesn't seem to have any. So I'll just go into it. So if you haven't read it, spoilers. Basically, it's written by Kevin Smith and Rob David. The script is by Tim Sheridan. The art by Mindy Lee. And there's a few covers. One is really hideous, and the one I got was really nice. Basically, there is a creature from a realm or a planet called Primera. It's called the Orlax. I'm under the impression it was already featured in He-Man somewhere, but I'm not sure now. I meant to check that. I didn't. I should have. I've got the book. I've got the character guide on my shelf. I didn't even think to look at it. Basically, it shows up. Now, it starts off with King Randor. He's sort of hovering around the palace at night because he hears some sort of fizzing electric sound or something. He thinks there's something coming, something ominous. Queen Melina dismisses him basically and says, go to bed. We're in a castle, we're safe, we're protected, we've got He-Man, we're fine. So she goes to bed, and then Prince Adam wakes up. Something's happening. He turns into He-Man and he finds his father has been attacked by this monster. They've tried to fight it, but whatever they do just goes straight through it, weapons, everything, because it's basically in 2 dimensions. So nothing they do can affect it, although it can affect people in this dimension, so that didn't make a lot of sense to me. So He-Man basically has to go through the cosmic corridor. They take King Randor to Castle Grayskull, and the Sorceress says, look, okay, the sword has fought this creature before, but you haven't, so you need to go back in time and work out how to do it. So he goes back, and while he's going back, he sees himself as a young boy being taught by his father, and then he goes back even further to see King Grayskull, who, what was his name? His name was like Divan. His son's name was Dr, like Dare, and then Hero was the other son. And he watches him, and it must be some sort of blending of different times and things, because the father seems to be giving them just a little lesson of how to use a sword, and then the next thing you know, there are snake men who are fighting them, and you see one of the boys gets attacked by the Orlax. It strikes him, and they believe it poisons him, but it basically makes some sort of mental connection which he's not able to handle, and he's sort of comatose like the king, because the king is comatose in Castle Grayskull, and they're trying to work out how to sort this out. So King Grayskull, who appears a bit more barbaric because he's older from a more primitive time, he basically wants to just kill it. He doesn't really care that maybe it is there to try and communicate, that it's been used by the Snake Men or General Hiss and been sent to attack them in some way, but there seems to be some idea that you need to look at why this creature's doing what it's doing, blah, blah, blah. It could be being used. He doesn't care, he just wants to kill it. So he goes to Scareglow, who's basically referred to as a demon by his wife, and he gets some sort of metal to make a sword, because it needs to be struck in both dimensions, basically. So he gets some sort of, I don't know, metal that is somehow evil or something, and then his sword is good, and then between the two, basically they're able to be effective in both dimensions, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because it's the same sword. These two swords eventually become the power sword, which is the sword that He-Man tried to strike it with, but it disappeared before he struck it, actually, because when they were attacking it, it just disappears when He-Man goes to strike it. I just realised he didn't actually strike it, so that does make sense. So I thought it did make sense, and then I thought about it for a minute, which I didn't when I was reading it, unfortunately. So, yeah. So he comes at it, and he frees his son, but his son dies because the mental connection, either breaking it was too much or just it was too much and he was never going to survive. So he dies. He-Man comes in. It goes after his other son, and He-Man comes in because he's been watching, and he cuts the arm off with the power sword. And then he takes it back with him. He suggests that they rename their castle Castle Grayskull, basically hide it by making it look like Castle Grayskull. Yep. That's about it, really. Then he goes back. It basically grows into a whole nother Orlax, which the sorceress captures in a cage, and they try to communicate with it. They understand it's scared of them, which they don't understand why, and the sorceress suggests it's because it's being used. And it is. It's being used by Skeletor. Skeletor was trying to use it to kill He-Man. So that's the whole episode. So, yes, it shows how Hero's brother died. It shows that the King Grayskull is black, and his children are biracial, and He-Man is biracial as well. It shows how the power sword was created and why it's so powerful, because it's got power from different types of power from different dimensions, and all those things. Now, I don't remember, because I looked at the original final, because one thing it mentions is that when King Randor at the start is talking, he's saying, basically, no, Melina's saying to him, basically, there's been peace for ages. If Skeletor's alive, he's not coming after us or something. I'm like, what? Where is Skeletor? Did he die? And I'm like, what was the final episode? I don't remember there ever being a final episode of He-Man. I went back, I looked at the last episode. The Problem with Power is the one that came up as the last episode for me in my collection. And it really just ends with Skeletor riding off on a jet thing. I've forgotten the name of it. I think it looks like He-Man's one, but I don't know what happened in the rest of the episode. He just runs off. He makes a, camp joke and runs off, flies off. And then Teela, who has been hurt because he has to have to outrun a bomb, and Teela gets hurt by a falling rock. He-Man is carrying her, and she's like, you don't need to carry me, I'm fine. He's like, well, maybe I should anyway. And she's like, why? I'll just carry you some of the way. Well, what's the point of carrying me some of the way? It's a nice little interaction between them. Presumably he puts her down and she walks. She doesn't need, she's resisting the damsel in distress. She's not playing into it because she likes him or anything, but it's just a weird, nice, fun little interaction. That's how the series ended, as far as I know. So there was no real ending, and that whether that's because the show ended before they planned, or whether they just wanted to leave it open-ended so syndication wouldn't be an issue, there wouldn't be a final episode to sort of have to sort of place in any position or any order when they're actually screening them later. I don't know. But yeah, so this doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know if there was an established mythology of how the sword was created and how Castle Grayskull was created. I was under the impression that they were a mystery and left a mystery. And if they did explore them, which I think they did in the 2002 series, which I did watch on TV in Saturday mornings years ago, I've got it on DVD. I haven't watched it since. I really should have. I'm not sure. And there's another comic by DC, and there's the original comics. So there's probably a couple of different origins of the sword and Castle Grayskull, whether this is supposed to be the definitive one or the one that was supposed to have been what was in the Filmation series, or whether this is just a new one for the new reboot for Revelation. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't find the comic very... It doesn't seem to relate to the episode. There's nothing about it that I'm seeing connecting to it yet. It just seems to be a marketing thing, like buy this, you have to buy this before you watch. It's a prequel, you have to buy this and read this before you watch the series. But it's not even all out before the series. So I guess do the next ones relate to the second season? Because we're getting the 5 episodes at once. Like, I've got them on my computer now. I'm just going to go watch them. So I'm not quite sure the point of this, but I was going to do a review, like I said, when I got all the comics. I'm not getting them. I thought I should at least do a review before the episodes come out. They've just come out, so if someone hasn't watched them yet, they might get some use out of this. I don't know. I did just want to talk about it. But I'm going to go because, as I said, I've got the 5 episodes on my computer and I'm going to go watch them, and I'm going to come back and talk about the series. But yeah, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the prequel. Does it seem related or relevant to the series and reading it before the series? I'm not quite sure. I really don't know. It just seems like a marketing, just seems like merchandise for the sake of it. But we'll find. I'll know soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.